Hello and welcome for joining us in another segment of Heal Thyself, Benefits of Holistic Living. I'm Mia Signs, your host. And with me in this segment is a dear friend of mine who's amazing, and that's why I love to interview him so much. His name is Daniel Hill, and he's an advanced EFT and NLP master, and he's also a clinical hypnotherapist, an Enneagram specialist, and he's pretty cool. So welcome, Daniel.
Bless you. Thank you. What a lovely introduction. Thank you.
It's lovely to have you here. Now, I asked you to be on this series because you have a huge area in which you do many, many different types of healing.
Yep.
So before we get into banter talk back and forth, will you share with us some of your journey for the new people who don't know you yet?
Some of my journey was, I've just surpassed my 10 years of it was a very conscious effort of attempting to leave the planet because my body was failing me so badly. It's similar to Mia's journey in as much as it was serious dis-ease going on within me. I survived that and I endeavoured to continue to work on myself. I had autoimmune disease chronically, so my body was massively attacking itself. I had a professor uncle who was a specialist in eyes, and I had lots of problems. One of them was related with my eyes, and I had something called iritis. I had arthritis, I had ME, fibromyalgia, and really a chronic way as well. But he told me, in not a negative way, he was trying to prepare me for a future where I would have to live with this ailment. And I had iritis, and he said, well, you'll have that for the rest of your life. And I haven't had that for 6 years. I healed that. So bodies can heal. In the eyes, the whites of the eyes used to swell up so badly I had to take steroids because otherwise the retina could get detached from the back of the eye, and that would cause irreparable damage to your vision, if not blindness. That was caused by huge amounts of fear, and I had to work on that. Mostly I did a lot of the EFT work with that. But that's just one aspect of the healing, and there was lots of things that went on.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Thank you. So share with us a little bit first about NLP, and then we're going to jump into some of the other ones.
Okay. NLP is a practice that helps to facilitate a change in somebody's consciousness. So it's like a waking state of hypnosis, and we all are subject to some kind of hypnosis when we're watching adverts on the television. That is, we're not in hypnosis when we're watching that. But we'll find that when we go to the supermarket, we'll just go for one brand over another. So this is an NLP for Dummies book, if anyone wants to go and have a look at it. There's plenty of stuff online about NLP. It's a way to influence others. Now we can use that in a negative way and in a positive way. And you could use it for sales and really influence someone to buy your product. And of course, companies will use this. They'll make that jam spread more attractive than the other jam spread, and they'll do it in their way. Now, when we're using it in a therapeutic context, we're using it to influence somebody's limited state of consciousness, which is causing someone to have an ailment, a dis-ease, whether that is physiological or psychological. Whether it manifests within the body or the mind. So NLP, quite simply, because it's very complex, is a way of being able to shift your beliefs.
That's awesome. It's kind of very, very interesting because people don't realize how shifting our consciousness, being aware of what we think, correcting our thinking energetically, and all this really does heal us. It really does. I mean, we are just thought. We're not really matter scientifically. In the physics, we're not even. These particles that are put together. I just think that humans are amazing creatures. I mean, we all are on this planet.
Utterly amazing. Utterly amazing.
Yeah.
And the possibilities are all within us. Absolutely. Most probably people listening to this are aware of that to some degree. But how can I access that? And so the tools that I use all work on the unconscious mind with unconscious limiting beliefs. Those unconscious limiting beliefs are causing a fearful consciousness, an angry consciousness, a sad consciousness, a depressive consciousness. There's something about a belief about the self and the universe. So there's two things there. We are the universe, we're not separate from it, in as much as the head is not separate from the body. It's all one. So when we're talking about a belief, like, let's say a great, like with my iritis, let's use that sort of, I hated what I saw. I hated what I saw in my life, and I hated what I saw in the world. I hated what I saw within my body, and I hated what I saw outside. So when I started to envision a better life for myself, doing something that I enjoyed doing, with people who were kind and loving and I wanted to be around, and I eventually started to manifest those into my life through all different types of actions and practices that facilitated a shift in consciousness. My eyes, took me about 18 months to heal that. And so this isn't like necessarily like quick fix. You can do great work with people. A young 11-year-old child I saw this morning who her parents brought her, probably expecting sort of a miracle or cure within a short amount of time. And I'm very honest and say, look, with this particular case, I think it's going to take 5 sessions, and let's do that every week to fortnightly. With what I had with serious disease or serious unease, it took a long time, because where my consciousness of where it was very, very limited. Because of traumas, because of conditioning, childhood stuff. It all goes back a lot to the past, because this is where our unconscious mind is downloading information about the world and thus about ourselves and our reaction to it. So when you start engaging with the world in a different way, with a new set of beliefs, which this work can aid you to manifesting, your life becomes better and easier, because your beliefs about yourself and the world are more harmonious, they're more productive, they're about flowing and about engaging and living more from your heart, which is about love, which is why I love you, Mia, because you're all about self-love. And if you think about, if we have fear on one side, what's the opposite of fear? I used to think it was peace, because I used to meditate a lot, and that's what it is. But actually the other really strongest emotion right on the other side is love. Peace is there, peace is not far away from love, but it's actually love. So we're talking about this creates the consciousness here, but this creates consciousness too. Love is a consciousness. So to come out from here, if we're talking about healing the self or a healing, we're talking about coming out from an unease or a disease, whichever way you want to look at it. And there's a big book here. This is one of the guys. This guy looks a bit like Santa Claus. We'd say Father Christmas in England. Really nice guy, Enneatype 5, I'm absolutely sure, who wrote this book quite a long time ago, actually. This is like a turbocharged version of Louise Hay. And that's called Messages from the Body, Their Psychological Meaning. So it's $129. It's you could look up any ailment, any disease, whether it's psychological or physiological, and it will tell you about the consciousness behind it, what someone's actually thinking. And I've been using that with my clients for the last, when did I buy it? Bought it in mid-2008. I'm close to sitting near 1,300 clients. That's locally, nationally, through Skype, around the world. I have clients in America, in Europe, and all over the place, just like you do. And I use this as a reference point with facilitating a shift in consciousness. You can't always do it immediately, but by referencing this, and someone comes back and says, well, I've got an illness, this is what it is, I'll say, well, would you like me to look it up for you? Sometimes they come wanting to heal that illness, sometimes they'll come with other issues, and that just comes up, and I'll say, okay, how about I just read this back to you, and they go, wow, that's spot on. Some clients aren't ready to heal it and will throw it back in my face and say that's a load of expletives.
And that's okay.
And that is okay. That's always an indication that it's actually touched a nerve. It's done something. And I let it go, and I often listen to my gut and say, shall I allow this person the opportunity to understand this information? That in itself can be healing and key. I had this a long, long time ago, where people were saying that my illness there was a correlation all the way back in 1997 between my state of consciousness. They didn't say that at the time, they just said the stuff that's running in your head. It's nothing to do with what's going on in my head. It's my body that's failing me.